Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's percolating. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too.
Java,
Percolating.
get a vibe, stay ready.
Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady.
Pull up a chair, yeah, take a sip with me.
Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good
Morning, good morning.
Yeah, the love percolating.
Vibe percolating.
Java with Jimmy. Good morning, morning.
Good morning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
good morning.
Yeah, the love.
Vibe percolating.
Yeah,
Java with
Jimmy.
Good morning,
Morning.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Java with Jimmy.
percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Java with Jimmy.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. It is a special Wednesday. It is the fifth season, if you will, of our Waterfront Wednesdays through our partnership with the Coalition for a Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront. And so it is the month of June. If you remember, I think it was in 2022 or 23, we went to the ICA through this partnership. And since then, we have been in great conversation with a lot of the partners and the Waterfront Coalition staff. You remember the Davis system have been a part of it. I don't think we've had Tracy on yet. Ian has been on as well. And so shout out to the crew over there. Today, we are going to talk with Chris Mancini. He is the executive director of Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. We're going to talk about their grant program and the huge calendar of events that they're having, some in collaboration with the Waterfront Wellness Week that is going on, I believe, starting in the early teens, actually, of this month. But we will definitely share more of this information with you, and I will post it on my social media pages as well. But for those of you that take screenshots, you can do that now real quick. We will also put the link up to this programming as well as the programming from Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. So without further ado, I would like to bring in the executive director of, and Chris, first of if you all followed the post, and I think it was on Instagram. No, it was on Facebook where Chris said, tune in today, or something about put your headphones in your ear holes and make sure you listen at 10 a.m. And then coming in with the energy. This is going to be, all of the conversations are great, but this is going to be a great conversation. Waterfront Wednesday. So I'm glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. And as I always do, after you greet the audience, I'm going to ask you to give me one word that describes your relationship with the waterfront. So greet the audience, say good morning in your own way, and then give us the one word. And then we're going to learn a bit about you, learn about Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, and then also why you're a partner with the Coalition for a Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront. So there's a lot to do and discuss, Chris, today, but I'm sure you're up for it, bro.
All right. I feel like I'm about to take the SATs or something.
Don't say that.
That's a lot. Oh, hi To the people on Facebook, Instagram, I could listen to your theme song all day long. I think it's my fourth favorite song at this point. But I'm Chris Mancini. I'm the executive director of Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. And this is bucket list for me, being on Java with Jimmy. I am just delighted to be here and was so excited when I got the invitation. And my one word relationship to the waterfront, fun.
It is fun. And I mean, just anything that I'm sure you're involved with, I'm sure you're going to make it fun and be the highlight in the room and the personality in the room. And so I'm glad to hear that you see the relationship with the waterfront as fun, because we talk about it being a fun thing, but it also does things like help our mental health.
Yeah.
And just, well, and also some level of exercise. I'll just say that if I live near the waterfront, I might be skinnier.
If you start with fun, all the rest of that comes naturally. You don't even have to worry about it.
Well, I'm saying if I lost weight, then that would be definitely fun. But let's get into the conversation. It's not about me and my need to walk on the waterfront, but I want to ask you, Chris, and I'm comfortable asking you like this. Who are you? Tell us a little bit about who you are and, how you ended up at Save the Harbor. And then we'll also talk about the great work that's going on there. One of them being the grant programs, Beyond Beaches. And so, yes, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and Save the Harbor, and we'll keep going.
I just followed the current, honestly. I was born in Rochester, New York, Western New York, which is on Lake Ontario, the Erie Canal. And I followed the Erie Canal to the Hudson River, where I sailed on a replica ship called the Clearwater. It's an environmental organization founded by Pete Seeger to clean up the Hudson River. And I sailed that up and down the Hudson River till it dropped me off in New York City. And I got into working at this marine field station on the Hudson. We would catch fish, show it to kids. I was like, this is great. All these things live out of it. They have seahorses in the Hudson River. We would catch seahorses. Like, I didn't know that till I started.
I didn't know that till just now.
Till just now, right? Well, then it was out. We had to drop the boat off in Greenport, Long Island. And I took the ferry over to Providence, Rhode Island, where I got on another boat. And this was actually one of my previous bucket lists before Java with Jimmy. I got on a boat that had been hired by the Walt Disney Corporation to be in Pirates of the Caribbean 2. And we sailed from Providence, the boat was called the Providence, to Alabama, where we fitted this thing out. We painted one side of the boat to look like a Portuguese fishing vessel from the 1700s, 1800s. And the other side was a British naval vessel. So they could turn it around for different reasons once they were filming. So yeah, my claim to fame is that you can see me in Pirates of the Caribbean 2 for about 7 seconds. And
you didn't send us the clip?
I think it's on my Instagram at some point. I put it up way back. It's about 45 minutes in. And I'm standing behind this big white bald pirate and making this face. I'm going.
Hardest assignment ever?
Well, no, I had taken some theater classes in college, including one about acting for film. So everyone else was like, oh gosh, I hope I get to be in the movie. And I was like, I know where to stand. I know exactly what to do. So you can see like my colleague's like shoulder and like someone's chin, but I was like, you got all of me. So we ended up, we finished that and we went back up to Providence, where I finally got off a boat. I took a train at that point. I ended up in Boston. My mom had moved here, and I had just fallen in love with all things water and aquatic. I got another degree because, again, my degree was in theater, and I wasn't getting quite the respect I felt I deserved for somebody who was this excited about fish and water quality. So I did take that opportunity. So I did some things. I met the Save the Harbor people about 25 years ago when I was interning for another group and tried to, steal their education program. I was like, we should do this. And I tried to get them to create some education programs for us. 15 years later, I applied for the job, and the fact that I had remembered them was pretty, they liked that. So I started working here, and Yeah,
and you got the position.
I got the position. It's my favorite job I've ever had. I'm 45. I finally have a job I love.
So you took this role on, you said 15 years ago?
10. Okay. So I met them 15 or 20 years ago, but I got this job 9 years ago. I was the vice president of operations. I love doing that backroom stuff. I love making the numbers match up.
That keeps things going.
We get interns or young people. I was like, it might seem boring to do data entry and write stuff, but I was like, that's what keeps this thing going. So I was happy doing that, but our longtime president retired, and I was like, let's see if we can find someone great. And that proved a little more difficult. So finally I was like, what if I applied? And they were like, great, let's do it. It was during COVID. We're going to make you executive director. Congratulations and condolences were in order.
Chris, so tell us about, you said you met them 15 years ago. From that time, you've been in leadership there. Tell us, what does Save the Harbor, Save the Bay do? I mean, you can kind of figure it out by the name, but
yeah,
fine for us really, in layman's terms, for folks that are watching, introduce Save the Harbor, Save the Bay to the audience.
It's a good question, especially now, right? You hear Save the Harbor. Why does it need to be saved? But we were founded in 1986. We are 40 years young now. But we have a great moisturizer, so we don't look a day over 25. And it's all the sea air, I think. But we were founded to clean up Boston Harbor. I don't know. We still tell this story because before then, for about 200 years, slowly people have been creating ad hoc these sewer systems. They started as open drains, with the colonists coming over. They're like, well, I'll just dig a trench to the ocean and get this out of my house. And by the time Save the Harbor was founded, 300 million gallons of sewage a day were going into Boston Harbor. And
you said 300 what?
Million gallons per day. We're talking, this is 43 cities and towns flushing toilets. We had sewage treatment.
I get the picture. I get the picture.
I won't linger on it.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
We had sewage treatment, but it was old. It was falling apart. It was called primary treatment, which was basically, let's try to separate this stuff out and hope it goes out with the tide. The tide also comes in, it turns out. It doesn't just go out. So, hey, there it goes. Oh, it's back, was what was happening. This was a huge swing at the time. This was a project that was going to require, it was multiple lawsuits, and it ended up costing $6 billion in the 80s and 90s. We're all still paying for that. But we have the cleanest urban beaches in the country in the Boston area. South Boston's beaches are clean every day of the year because after we built the new treatment plant, we took the pipes off the beach. If you go down to most beaches, you go down to the river, you're hearing a lot of this about the rivers right now because we have these things called outfalls, either stormwater or combined sewer outfalls. People talk about CSOs a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's where, we got to have a storm drain, right? We paved all this space, the rain's going to fall, and it's got to go somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to end up breaking our houses, end up in your basement. And when we built these East Coast cities originally, we made the sewer and the stormwater the same. We're like, oh, the water, it'll all go there. We're starting to separate those out. We've come pretty far on that, actually. But when you hear combined sewer overflow, that's when there's so much rain, even it combines with the sewer and it flushes out some of these sewer pipes. And so we really try to minimize that.
Can I ask you a question there? With what's going on around climate change, environmental justice, the timing, and I remember, taking field trips to the aquarium and the water was dark green.
They had the window. You could look. I came on a field trip here from New York and you could look and be like, there's a shopping cart and there's like one lobster because the lobster actually kind of.
It was, I remember, you could barely see the jellyfish. I remember when the harbor was just disgusting. And so the timing of this being done now in comparison to what's going on with the environment, we have seen, Morrissey Boulevard gets flooded often. We have seen, the impact of environmental changes going on. And so in what you're doing now, is that getting us to par, level, preparing for potentially more increased happenings around, more rain and flooding? It just was a thought as you were talking about the progress that has been made, but I've had people on like Mariama White Hammond that used to be the environmental person for the city. I've had enough people on here through the partnership to, when you said that the improvement is there, but then I'm thinking about the notion that we still may or may not be ready for more change.
You and I are right in sync. I was setting this up. I was talking about the big swing we took in the 80s, $6 billion to clean it up. That what you just asked is the next big swing, right? Is climate, right? We live in a capitalist society, and all of our thoughts go to, well, where's the money? We all know what to do. We all know what we want to do, and everyone goes, well, where's the money, right? I'm not an economist. I probably should go back and get that degree if I want to make a difference on this point.
Air, water, and economy.
I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for that. So I'm going to maybe just try to meet the right people. But people are talking about this. We got to pay for it. But we paid $6 billion for the cleanest urban beaches. There's estimates. I don't know which one to believe, but the lowest estimate is that there has been $30 billion of return, right? With a clean harbor, you get more jobs, you get more public access. They built the seaport, so all this development. I don't know if I'm seeing any of that money, but someone's seeing $30 billion of return on that. And the high estimates are like $400 billion. I don't know. Again, I point those out though, because when we're sitting here saying, what about flooding? What about climate change? It's gonna be a change, but we took a big swing with cleaning up the harbor. Let's take a big swing, find that money, spend that money, because it's gonna come back to us. It's kind of like, you gotta have faith.
I mean, the interesting part is, and I said this around sort of your point of where's the money and things, that an investment is going to be made one way or another. Will it be by intention, or will it be by inconvenience?
Yeah.
And so not to, doom and gloom, because we want to stick to the fun, of the relationship with the water. And so with that fun piece, that is one side of what Save the Harbor does, advocacy. But then there's also this intention around fun. And to your point, you just said one of these wonderful ideas, but where's the money? You all put your, you put your money where your mouth is as far as fun and ideas. So tell us about, I think I have it right. It's Beyond Beaches.
Better Beaches.
Better Beaches. Well, maybe the next iteration is
Beyond Beaches. Actually, were you in our last staff meeting?
No, don't. I mean, that's 54 years old memory. That's all. Tell us about that. Tell us about, taking, as you said earlier, we have these wonderful ideas sometimes, but there aren't the resources, but somehow you all had the ability to put some resources behind the fun, to what you heard earlier. So tell us about it.
Well, like I said, we're Save the Harbor. We felt like, for all intents and purposes, most intents and purposes, we saved the harbor. In 2000, they turned on the Deer Island sewage treatment plant, and suddenly we have really clean water. People didn't really believe it. They weren't really aware of it, right? So we said, well, we should bring people to the water. It started with free cruises to the harbor islands, which we still do today. Go to savetheharbor.org, sign up for one. No catch. You just got to get there on time, because once the boat leaves, it's the boat left. It's not our program, but this Saturday is free ferry day that Boston Harbor Now and the Harbor Islands are doing. So you can do that too. But we do our Island Explorer cruises. Anyone's welcome. We always have room on the boats. These are some big boats that we get in partnership with Bay State Cruise Company and Mass Bay Lines. And once the beaches were clean, we went to the state, we went to the governor's office, we went to the DCR, Department of Conservation and Recreation. We said, hey, you got these great beaches. You ought to do something. You ought to, throw some more trash cans out there so, people can throw their trash away. You got to program them, give people a reason to realize these are out here. And they said, that's a great idea. Can you do that? And I wasn't here at the time, but they got us $190,000 in the state budget. And they said, here you go, take the 190. It was a lot of money to us at the time. We were probably at $200,000-$300,000 org. And we created the Better Beaches Grant Program in partnership with DCR, and we started granting it out. It started with, a weekly concert series in Red Rock Park, and our youth beach bash and splash on Carson Beach, because it was the cleanest urban beach. And now we've gotten a little more money from the state. We're up to $290. And the state likes us because they give us $290,000 and we give out $315,000.
So you all a compliment. You add
Yeah.
your own resources.
Yeah, we do a fundraiser in March called the Shamrock Splash. JetBlue is our title sponsor, and it's so fun. We really want to get more people out of this because it turns out, maybe it's just my personality, I was like, why wouldn't everybody want to jump into the harbor in March? That seems like a thing you would do. You want to brag about that, but it turns out a lot of people.
I think it was Jay. They invited me from Boston Harbor.
Yeah.
Someone invited me from Boston Harbor now to come.
Yeah,
Like, no,
Jay's great.
No. Nope.
You have an option. You can sign up as a chicken too, and then you just get to have the clam chowder and the beer.
And what the shade as a chicken? That's what you all call. Okay.
Sorry.
Let's get back to other events and focus. You did not. Let's talk about what's going on with Better Beaches. And I want to make sure that folks know that in the comments, you can go to the events page. And once you get there, you can also go and sign up about find out about the ferry that Chris was talking about.
Yeah.
And so what's going on? Tell us a few just off the top of your head that stood out as far as the events that you funded with Better Beaches.
All right, so it's 75 or 76 grantees and over 200 events, almost every single day of the summer in July, starting in July. We got some in June on the weekends. Starting in July, almost every day you can find a free event on one of what we call the metropolitan beaches. That is from Nahant to Nantasket, state beaches, including Kings Beach Inland. And yeah, you see this Saturday, you've got Yoga on the Beach with Namaste Sober. They're fantastic. They've been working with us for years. The Fit Fet by Soca Fusion down in Dorchester. Those two orgs are doing regular scheduled stuff. So like pretty much every weekend you can find them at one of the beaches. June 20th, it turns out it's going to be a pretty busy day. So you're gonna have to make some tough decisions. Do you want to learn to surf? Do you want to, do do the festival, Gwangju Festival down in Quincy, I think. But it's such a diverse group of types of events. We have like a painting, they call it plein air painting in the open air. And there's a bunch of these now where you can go no cost. You show up with your friend, your kid, your parent, whoever, and they will show you how to paint. They've got them all set up. You're painting the landscape, or paint whatever you want. There's no rules. Daddy and Me Literacy is one of my favorites. We met them a couple years ago.
Shout out to brother Wadi Muhammad.
Oh,
that's my guy.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
They're like, why does Chris always mention us? It's just they came along and I just was like, this is beautiful. This is great. It's just parents and kids sitting on the beach and reading. Like, hey, I can read to you, but like, let's also go sit on the beach. And it's really sweet. It's really great. And we've got all the big stuff too. We were one of the first sponsors, helped get the sandcastle thing off the ground in Revere. I mean, they're huge now. So we're still there in the corner, one of the smaller logos now. But
let me ask you this. You talked about parents and families. I see a good brother that does a lot of events in the city that are more framed in a adult.
Yeah.
Sort of similar to Spectacle. And so is it this grant period has closed, but someone like brother Sniz, can he apply when it opens up again? He does. Imagine a Kentucky Derby persona on the water.
Wait, was he racing seahorses?
No. You know what, Chris? I'll have to get you off my screen. No, but I saw his name and we're talking about a grant program. So I'm just because I'm sure people may be curious about how to apply maybe for
it's just a once a year cycle because we get that state. We've got to, we got to go and lobby for that state money every year. We have great partners in the legislature through our Metropolitan Beaches Commission. I'm going to shout out Rep. Modero and Moschino and Senators Crichton and Edwards, who are our chairs and co-chairs.
Lydia,
yeah.
That's the whole.
And they go to bat along with a bunch of other reps, Giannino and Revere, and I mean, there's too many to name. I'm just sticking with the co-chairs here and the folks who I get to talk to a lot. Senator Collins down in South, he's been really a great advocate for this funding, and Rep Beal down there. So yeah, they go to bat for us. We get this money, and so it's just once a year with the budget. But he should. We opened it up in January, I want to say, but he should call us or email me or something, because sometimes there's, someone can't quite get it, oh gosh, something came up. Maybe because we fund established nonprofit organizations and we fund individual artists, and I'd say 98% goes off without a hitch. But, if someone, has got a family issue or like something comes out, they just can't. So we sometimes end up with a couple extra bucks so we can redirect it. So,
I would say just the best way to find out is to go follow Save the Harbor, Save the Bay on Instagram, as well as if again you go to the events link. And yes, for those of you that are watching on James, I'm going to put it there right now. If you go to that link, you can navigate to all things Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. So I just again thank you. Again, it happened kind of in real time. As I seen his name pop up, I'm like, he does events.
We're always trying to meet new folks, broaden this. We're going to try to ask for more money so we can keep funding old folks and fund new folks. Give them Maya's emails. We got a great team that runs the program. Maya Smith has transformed this.
If you send it to me, I'll make sure I connect them. Connect them to. There's one more while we're asking questions. Is Carson Beach safe to swim?
Yes. No additional comment. Carson Beach, South Boston's beaches are the cleanest urban beaches in the country.
I heard you say that, and I don't want to miss that. You said in the country.
Yeah. No, water quality is beautiful down there. We actually closed the pipes. We took the pipes off the beach. So
it's natural.
Right. You go to East Boston, you go to almost any other beach around the world. And the water, like I said, the water's got to go somewhere. So you get that rainstorm and we call it the burp. It burps out whatever was gathering in the pipe.
I don't think in 6 years of me ever doing this show that I've ever had the urge that I was going to, I had to.
We've talked about a couple different bodily functions as metaphors. I'm sorry. It is morning. You're going to have to put a trigger warning on the show. But our advice, we just put out our water quality report card, and our general advice is, in an urban area, after an intense rainstorm, we had one on Monday or Tuesday, you want to give the beach 24 hours to kind of dilute and exchange. But South Boston's the exception. I swim there any day. I would swim there in a pouring rainstorm because that water is so clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely got that question answered. Thank you for that. We kind of for a couple of Q&As, but I also wanted to make sure that we had time as we're getting close to our time to also talk about you're a partner of the Coalition for Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront, and they, along with you, and I'm sure some of these may cross-pollinate for lack of better words, but this is also the calendar for Waterfront Wellness Weekend, the next 2 weekends beginning on June 13th and through the 21st. And so talk to us about any of the events that you're aware of here. And is there any partnership that you maybe fund a couple of these through?
I mean, I'm looking at the names here. Every nonprofit I'm seeing is a partner. The Greenway does fantastic. The River Orgs, Mystic, Neponset. I don't see Charles on this one, but Charles River is a great partner of ours. The rivers are the next frontier, right? We cleaned up the harbor, and the rivers need the same level of attention. We gotta work on. There's a CSO control plan in conversation right now. We want to be able to swim there as often as we swim in the harbor. I'm not really answering the question, but
you're good.
I'm going to call out. I see water chestnut removal by Mystic River. I used to do that with them when I lived in Somerville, and it's really fun. You go out in kayaks and you're literally pulling these invasive species out. So it's like indulges your kind of like youthful, like I want to rip things apart, but like you have permission, right? Because
the water
pulling you do go on a hot day because it's really wet.
Okay. And is George's Island, here's another question. Is George's Island, is that a part, that's Boston Harbor now, correct?
It's the Boston Harbor Islands National Recreation Area. Boston Harbor now is the group that it's there's so many. It's DCR, National Park, City of Boston, Boston Harbor now. It's great. I usually know the answer to that question. I believe it is open. They had an issue with the water line last year, but I think it's fixed. So when you go to our website, savetheharbor.org, you can sign up for trips to George's Island, free trips to George's Island, or you can take the public ferries from Long Wharf pretty much any day.
Okay. All right. This is, we always have engagement, but I love the type of engagement we're having today, because this is what the crew, a Coalition for Resilient and Inclusive Waterfront, is in place for the diversity and inclusion. And I'm telling you, if you and you and him work something out, this will be one of your biggest favorite fun events. So, and as all of them are that you funded. And so we want to make sure that folks, I want to remind people that there are 2 links in the comments right now. First of all, there's this one that goes to the calendar events for the crew, the next 2 wellness weekends. And then also, and I'll put it on James in a minute, you guys. And then also there is the link to Save the Harbor, Save the Bay's events page. However, if you get to the events page, you can find out information about the ferries. You can find out all types of things. Sign up for both email lists so you can get information about events, even though we'll share them here. You can get information about events that's going on there. Chris, I think we covered everything. Is there anything that we missed?
We're just getting started. You got to have me back.
I definitely will have you back. We have a couple, speaking of that, we have at least 3 more shows through our partnership. We have August, we have October, and December. I think I have it right. Ian or Tracy will let me know if I didn't.
You gotta get me and Maya Smith on to talk about our Beats on the Beach program.
That is through who? That's not the first time I've heard about
it's
that.
It's through Save the Harbor. It's part of the Better Beaches program, but it's become its own thing. It's a competition. We just had our producers go out. They capture sounds from the ocean, from the beaches, from the water, from around, and they create beat packs. And then anyone can create their own beats and enter the competition. We got pretty sweet prizes. I don't know what they are this year. I forget, but like legit equipment, cash prizes, like performance.
Get in it, and I'm sure Ian will make sure too, but get me that info, because I'm now thinking of Jeff 2 times and a couple of other people that would. Yeah. Okay. All right. Chris, all right. This is definitely a good start to the morning. For our first, you kicked off our 5th year, our 26th season through this partnership. So I definitely appreciate it. And if all the other episodes are going to be like this, then I think the level of engagement and folks being intentional about going out to the waterfront is going to be even better this year. So
it's your waterfront. You're already paying for it, whether you know it or not. You should come use it for free.
We're going to clip that and make that a nice little commercial. All right, Chris, I really appreciate you, sir.
I had such a good time.
And we did too. So thank you for being with us this morning. I'm sure we'll see each other in community soon. And get me the beats info. And I'll get me Maya's email as well.
Maya's email, my email, beats info.
Yep. And I'll get it over to Good Bro. I want to keep saying shiz, but all right, let me get off of here or get you off of here. Thank you so much, brother. You have a good day, man. Thank you. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed Brother Chris. I love his energy. His energy was just amazing. And so keep up to date with what's going on with Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, as well as the Waterfront Coalition's list of events. We used to do the Waterfront Wellness Week, but however, for the last couple of years, we've broken them up into like quarterly weekends. This year, it's actually a weekend, some weekends. And so from the 13th through the 21st, these are the events that are taking place over the next couple of weekends. So please make sure, and I'll post this on my page as well. Also, make sure you follow the Waterfront Coalition on Instagram and Facebook as well. And also follow Save the Harbor, Save the Bay. That is it for us today. We will be back today at 12 noon to chat with Mayor Wu. Mayor Wu will be with us at noon today. And I wanted to let you know that for the next 20 minutes, you all have the ability, and hopefully, well, I can actually get it from my phone. Where are we? You all have the ability to submit areas of topics and also questions to the mayor, who again is coming in at 12 noon today in just under 90 minutes. And so I'm going to put that link up in just a moment. And I missed a few texts. Oh shoot. Hold on. This is why. Hold on, I'm getting distracted. I am going into my phone to get the link for you all to ask the questions. Hold on. All right. Copy. Boom, 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 boom. Here is the link. I'm going to put it in the comments and you can go and ask your questions. There it is. And I know I owe you all a couple of links on the James page as well. There's the one for the questions to the mayor. And then I owe you all the link for the Waterfront Wellness Weekend. So I am putting that on. Hold on. I am putting that on James W. Hill's page as we speak. All right. Y'all got to give me credit because engineering, producing, hosting, and graphics and all this stuff at the same daggone time is interesting. So Sister Debbie said that today's show had her reminiscing when my parents took us to Carson Beach when we were young. Carson Beach, Nantasket Beach, all of those. And so Carson Beach is, and if you remember in 23, so wow, the ICA must have been in 22. In 23, we did the, I remember, never mind. I remember 23 for a reason. 23, we were at Carson Beach. There was a lot of energy going on around some youth activity at Carson Beach and going back and making it a positive space and taking it over. So with that understanding, it's safe to swim there in the history and whatnot. Please consider getting out and being there. All right, that's it for me for now. We will be back at 12 noon. Don't forget, you are able to go and submit your questions for the show for the mayor. That link will be open only until 11 a.m. because then I got to get everything together and figure out what the consensus was. I can tell you right now in real time, the number one area. Hold on, let me just refresh. I think this is the most recent. So the number one area is the budget. It's a tie still for community safety and housing. And then number 3 is education. And so, yes, please submit the question, share the link with community. There's a lot of energy often in the social media space. So we put that link up. So rather than typing in the comments or post, you can put some of your thoughts and we will share them with the administration after the show. Put your thoughts, your questions, and then also put your thoughts and ideas about your questions in that last prompt there in the survey. All right. So fill out the survey before 11 a.m. and we will be back here at 12 noon to speak with Mayor Wu. All right. Chat with you soon. Have a great day, everybody. If you're not back at noon, we'll see you for Midday Java with Mayor